now.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to Blades and Blasters. I'm your GM, Wanderer, and this is the fourth session of our new campaign, Dragonlance Knight's Frontier. With me, I have Tetnak playing Rubrum, Bo playing Darius, Waterpeck playing Dalrend, and Ghost playing Baldwin. And without any further ado, we'll get going. Let's start with a little intro today. Okay. Hopefully everyone can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That looks nice.
Yep.
Is that made fresh, or is that Stockholm?
No, that's from the web. That's kind of a historical reconstruction.
Cool.
Okay. Fate has brought two groups of strangers to an outpost of civilization on the very edge of the wilds in the once cursed land of Nightland. Fate, or perhaps the hidden touch of a divine hand, for escaping the slave caravan brought two of the new arrivals to the very place they sought, a wooden castle of the Salamnic knighthood named Norhold. 4 of the 6 new arrivals have pledged service to the knighthood as members of the Salamnic auxiliary. A 5th, Lady Isabeau Blackstone, was already a kingfisher and auxiliary wizard. The final member of the group, the mysterious sorcerer Rubrum, vanished into the night mist as Norhold first came into view, and has not been seen since. Given that his disappearance coincided with bone-chilling howls closing in the darkness, the others fear the worst. It's 2 days after the group's arrival at Norhold when the outpost receives less welcome visitors, in the shape of Knights of Naraka, and in greater numbers than the defenders. But let us return for a moment to a time about an hour before that, when the sun begins to dip and the fading light finds 3 Salamnic auxiliaries on watch in Norhold's gatehouse: the Paladin Baldwin, the Minotaur Dalrend, and the Rogue Darius. I'm just going to switch our scene over to here. Okay, so it's late afternoon, dusk. It's just starting. The shadows are growing long, the sun's dipping down towards the horizon, the light's growing more and more orange and starting to fade. And the 3 of you are watching. It's been an uneventful day, but it's only a day and a half since you, nearly 2 days since you first arrived here. And this is your first time on guard duty at the gate. It's been fairly quiet, a little dull, but now the day is beginning to wane and your watch will soon be over. And I'll let you guys take it away.
Darius paces back and forth atop the parapet, looking into the mist as it's burned off by the slowly rising sun. Maybe it's not quite over the horizon, but in the hours before dawn, you start to see those pale fingers of light creeping over the horizon, filtering through the trees. And Darius, Dalrend, and the Paladin may kind of pick up on his nonverbal cues. He looks a little bit restless. You would expect him to act tired and exhausted after being up all night, especially after the last few days, but his gaze continues to stray to the horizon towards where the trees end and the no man's land between the trees and the palisade begins. Perhaps he's told a few stories to Dalrend and the Paladin overnight about what he has seen on his way into the castle. And they weren't natural. Not natural at all. Gaping maw, rends of flesh in the side. I tell you, the wolves howling in the night, they were not natural. They were not alive. The dead walk in this land, Minotaur, and I have not seen such things apart from my run-in with that mad wizard. His hands rest occasionally on a pouch at his side where he keeps that lucky pair of dice, that mysterious pair of dice that has caused so much trouble for him over the past few weeks, but Darius is loath to draw too much attention to it, because that pair of dice also, he thinks, is his ticket to fortune and glory and better days ahead. But as with so many things, with potential reward also comes quite a bit of risk.
Baldwin listens to Darius as he goes through, speaking about the wolves and the mad wizard. Baldwin, throughout this shift, has went between walking along the parapets and having a seat on what I would assume are perhaps stools or chairs that might be up there. He sits on a stool. Is that what has you ill at ease this evening, Darius? The wolves? Memories of this wizard that you speak of?
Darius looks towards the horizon again and realizes he was mistaken. The sun is going down, not up. And he says, "Dark have been my thoughts of late. It's hard to tell night from day. And if my nightmares are based in reality or some phantasm." But here we are, now safe behind these sturdy wooden walls, right? Nothing can penetrate these, nothing can break them down. Isn't that right?
Dalren is kind of sitting squatted, or not necessarily sitting, but squatting down, being a little bit oversized for the parapet and the benches. He kind of leans back against the wall, ears kind of twitching as a fly on occasion tries to land on it. As the sun goes down, he squints off into the distance, looking at the horizon, listening to Darius's stories, and he kind of almost offhandedly, "You always have a way with words there, Darius. You and your stories, undead wolves. I'll believe it when I see it. Probably nothing more than just dire wolves or some sort of feral pack on the verge of starvation, willing to get closer to human settlements in a search for food."
Cut in with that. His words may have weight. This land has always been tainted. There's been talk that the dead walk. There are a great many of them in these lands.
That's what they say, but all I've seen is slavers. I've seen no taint yet.
I'll give it time.
Give it time. Time is something we don't have much of.
I thought you always said you'd live forever. Isn't that what you used to say?
And that's quite an odd comment, Darius, because you've not said anything like that in the week or so that you've known Dalrand.
No, what I've actually said, Dalrand, is I live the lives of 9 men in the space of 1.
Oh, but I should add that it is actually something that in your younger day you used to say a lot. You just haven't said it recently.
One of my experiences, Dalrand have recently taught me that even the most handsome, sturdy, lithe, and dexterous half-elf can meet his end. I just don't want it to be in the belly of one of these undead beasts. And Baldwin, he knows the truth of it. This land is tainted. Tainted, I tell you. I've heard tales.
Well, If I could save you from the gullet of a dragon back on that ship, I'm sure I can save you from whatever taint this land has to offer. Won't be the first time or last time I save you.
Would that I could return the favor at some point, Dalrand. Although I don't think I would ever let you hear the end of it.
Of that I'm sure.
At any rate, I am exhausted, famished, and dare I say thirsty.
Dalrend, you are looking out into the trees, right?
Correct.
So you and anyone else who's, you're probably all doing it from time to time, you know, that's what you're there for, to look out. So presumably at times in the conversation you're all looking out. So everyone can make a perception check.
That's a good one.
Does anyone else even need to? I mean,
What do your monitor eyes see?
Baldwin's mask is causing some wicked glare.
You see a figure approaching through the trees, and the others don't see the figure until it emerges into the open. But you actually catch a glimpse of it some way off. Tet, would you like to describe what Rubrum looks like?
Yeah, from the posture in the distance, it almost seems like a elderly man, hunched over slightly, leaning forward as they walk. But the hair is unmistakable, red like a fire, pale skin of this individual, and as they get closer you realize that they're not so old at all, probably younger than each of you in appearance. It's a male. His steps are long, and as he gets closer you can tell that maybe his body goes more straight as he approaches the walls. And is there a ditch outside like this portrays, in a bridge? Either if there is,
Yeah.
he heads towards the bridge.
There's a moat
Yeah,
around
yeah.
the place.
Okay, it's just filled. Okay, he approaches, and he has nothing on him except equally red robes with gold trim, and he has no weapon or armor or anything of that nature. He doesn't have a pack, doesn't have a traveling pack, doesn't have anything except something clutched in his hands, and it's hard to tell from this distance, but he just is walking towards you, kind of quickly almost, as with purpose.
Dalren, kind of in this casual conversation with Baldwin and Darius, sees this figure emerge onto the tree line, just kind of walking almost nonchalantly straight towards the Mott and Bailey. It kind of like snaps up suddenly and points a finger out to the horizon. There, do you see? A human approaches.
first Baldwin can't see anything because of the glare in his mask from the sun. He squints his eyes and... So the wolves didn't get him. It's fortuitous for him, I suppose, and perhaps for us as well. And he gets up.
Who do you speak of?
And he nods out towards the figure. It is, Rubrum. He is a sorcerer. I know him from many years ago, and he was also captured with myself and Isabeau. He disappeared after the caravans attacked. I figured he could either take care of himself, or if he was going to walk off, be a fool of the wolves, then there was not else we could do for him. It appears he was not killed.
It appears he's very much alive. Unless what we see with our own eyes right now is not more than a phantasm. He acts like he's going to knock a bow, like knock an arrow, but kind of looks down towards Rubrum. No. Nay, my eyes do not deceive me. So, you trust this man, Baldwin?
Trust is too strong a word. I am familiar with him. He has not done anything untoward to me or mine, but he is strange.
These are strange days and strange times. Is he capable? In a fight, I mean?
He is quite capable. I've seen some of his sorceries.
No. Having a look at him, it won't appear that he will steal either mine or Ayesh's women, so let him in.
So Rubrum, you approach, and as you do approach the gate, who goes down to open the gate for Rubrum?
I don't know.
I was going to say the Minotaur will head down there. He has no ranged weapons, so
Okay.
he'll walk down.
Yeah, Baldwin will as well.
Okay, so in that case, you see Baldwin, who you know, and the Minotaur, who you probably have some vague memory of that misty night when you first arrived, but don't really know.
Yeah, he just
Right
kind of
there.
looks up at the Minotaur and then over to Baldwin's like, "Ah, this is where people have gone. It is wondrous. Now I will come in too, and rest my weary bones."
Did you find what you were seeking?
Ah,
Were you
yes.
set by wolves, or...
Oh, those things. Yes, yes, I have it here. He reaches out and opens his hand, and there's a amulet there, almost like a locket. Looks pretty expensive, perhaps, like a lot of adornments in the metal. It doesn't have a necklace with it, probably long snapped off, you would assume. And he closes his hand again. I found it. I always find it.
And Baldwin will nod back to where the inn is. There is an inn there. Tell them that you are staying there courtesy of the Solemniac Knights, and it'll be my responsibility to pay for you.
Good. Good.
We must speak later at some point after you have rested.
Oh, I am fine. If you have something to say to me now, we can speak of it now, unless you wish not to do it in front of this one. And he looks over to the Minotaur.
It would be a private conversation, and I'm on watch.
Ah, then we will speak privately then. It is my second favorite type of conversation.
The Minotaur just kind of, I'll go back up with Darius, leave you two alone then. He kind of closes the gate behind him and locks it or whatever the procedure is, and then kind of stomps
Yeah, there's
away to give them their privacy.
Yeah, there's a bar, you drop across it. Rubrum, do you react at all as you hear this name Darius that you've never heard before?
Did he actually say it, or did he say he was just...
I did. No, yeah.
He gives him a look, and he doesn't say anything though. He actually looks up at the kind of the spot above him, and just he doesn't make mention of it though.
Yeah, you see Darius up there. He looks way more tired than he should. Maybe not sleeping well, and gives you the movie nod as you kind of look up there. And he kind of sits back down on a chair or a barrel on the parapet and fishes out those pair of dice and starts to run them through his fingers as the Minotaur kind of comes back up to the parapet.
Yeah, he's got some golden dice he's playing with, Rubrum.
Yeah.
They look expensive.
Yeah, he doesn't make mention of it. He turns back to Baldwin and says, "So, well, we are alone, are we not? Outside the great walls of this place?" He stifles a laugh.
He'll walk with he'll gesture for room to follow. He'll walk with them towards the inn as they're
Yeah.
walking.
I'll move you across to here. We've actually got a map now.
Yeah.
It's a nice one.
Yeah,
very
courtesy of a lady called Manuela Postal on Fiverr. Yeah, so you've started off here at the gate, and you're walking through to the inn, which is over here, the White Hart. So not far to go.
Yeah, so I'll walk with him. I had meant to try to find a good time to talk with you before we were put into chains. I've been trying to figure some things out about my home, and, well, I only saw you a few times, but what was the nature of your visits to my family?
No, I just wanted to check up on you all. Make sure that you were doing well.
For what purpose? I never understood what connection you had with the Jarrus family.
Oh, bloodlines long and deep. They reach to your family and mine.
Let's see. I did anything that my father did ever strike you as dangerous, odd?
I did not pay that much attention. I would come, I would see if he had a daughter, and then I would eat his food from his larder, and then I would leave.
Does this seem, Wander, does this seem like he's telling me the truth?
You can make an insight check.
Oh, I'm gonna plug my headset in. Oh boy.
Ah, shit. Hard to tell, I imagine.
Hold on, I'm just checking something.
Oh yeah, okay.
So 9. Okay. Now he seems sincere. He's got an odd manner about him, but you think he's okay?
Yeah, so he nods. Did you heard nothing about what happened at all?
The last time I was there and saw you with your new face is the last time I have came. It has been several years. I did not hear anything. It is I am sorry your father has passed. Is there something that troubles you?
Just a quick correction there. Last time you were there a few years ago, everything was normal, but he didn't have his new face. He was just completely normal.
Yeah, I was talking about just recently, like the last couple days.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
because we went back there, right? Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
My father passed away after consorting with Chemosh. I had to kill him, Rubrum.
Oh. Well, that does cause some awkwardness, doesn't it?
There were no signs, nothing. No one he spoke to when you were there. No one that you might know that was involved in this.
Nothing that I know. It has not been resolved then. You cannot let it go even though you have slain the beast.
I would imagine as well, Tet, that as he said that, oh yeah, my father was consorting with minions of the god of undeath, and You wouldn't have reacted, really, would you? I don't think.
No, he doesn't know anything about it as far as he's letting on.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't even look surprised or shocked or anything, right? He's just like, whatever. That's what I would imagine, anyway.
Yeah.
Well, everyone in my home is dead. It is a bit more complicated than just slaying the beast.
Well, if they're all dead, then what does it matter? Dead is dead.
Yeah. Baldwin just kind of purses his lips and nods, and he gestures to the inn.
Is it revenge you're looking for? I do not mean to give offense.
No. Thank you for the conversation. And he will pat Rubrum on the shoulder. Try not to partake too much. The crown is... The knights are... The purse strings are not so heavy as to pay for a great meal.
Oh no, I require little. I heard the big one did use a name that I learned only yesterday. The Darius fellow. Do you think he is worth 500 steel, or perhaps something even more worthwhile? There were people that were looking for him. Well, I use people very loosely.
How do you mean? People?
Oh.
And looking for him for what?
That I could not say. I do believe it was not a good conversation that would be had with him. I was stopped by some creature, a dog, a wolf. I often mistake the two. It looked chewed up, ravaged by time. But it spoke unnaturally, so I assumed that someone was puppied it with magical talents. But they were looking for him. He had stolen something. Offered me money, or a magical gift, if I were to tell them where he is. If you need money, I can certainly do this.
I would prefer you didn't. It sounds as though these may be our enemies. Did you agree to their deal, or say you would think about it?
I did not say anything. I simply walked on. It meant nothing to me. What do I need 500 steel for?
A fair point. No, I think that it's best that we don't give him to our foes. If it is, as you describe it, that may have been a creature of the undead.
Are you in war with the undead? Are they plaguing this place?
As to my understanding, yes. There have been many dead that walk, and many poisons and plagues and various things that have been besetting this place. Norhold is the name of this place.
Norhold. I see. Well, I wouldn't give too much worry about it. We have strong walls. Until we need to move again, I must visit other of my relatives, as I do so often.
Thank you for your time, Rubrum, and enjoy your drinks.
He nods and heads inside and orders probably too expensive of a meal.
Baldwin will return to the gate, but I know that Dalrend and Darius want to have a conversation. Whenever I can cut in appropriately, let me know.
Will do. So yeah, we'll go back to the gatehouse, and you kind of watch the two of them walk off, and you can't hear what's being said, but you can see that Baldwin's head is kind of bowed, as if there's a weight on him. But Rubrum just looks like he's talking completely naturally. He's got this kind of odd, just very kind of slightly hunched posture, but that doesn't change. He has a a habit of either looking kind of disinterested or suddenly fascinated by something, but only briefly. And that kind of just carries on as they walk. And the two of them, their body language really seems to mismatch, you notice. But Darius, I think, wanted to say something.
Yeah, Darius kind of, as that duo walks under the gate and heads towards the end, he looks over his shoulder, then plops his rump down on a barrel with a creek and fishes out a pair of black and golden dice and kind of tumbles them through his fingers in his right hand until he kind of hears the doop, doop, doop of hooves coming up the stairs or ladders or, however you get up to the parapet. He kind of hastily puts that pair of dice back in the pouch and sees Dalaran's horns come up first, and then his hair, and then his snout, and finally his mouth and the rest of his body. Well, he looks interesting, that chap down there. Seems like our paladin friend is, if not fast friends, at least his. Have you ever seen him before, Dalrand?
Dalren gets to the top, sits down next to Darius, first looking inside the walls at the pair of them and then back outside. Kind of talks, it seems they know each other, but I do not know either of them, other than meeting them outside the walls just a few days ago, it seems like. But they know each other somehow and wanted to talk in private, it seems, so I left them to it.
I think that was a wise move, my new friend. And he kind of cinches the belt on his waist and stands back up, looking towards the woods, half expecting to see one of the wolves, but of course he does not. The duo kind of disappears into the inn, and he turns back to Dalrand, and he says, "But strangers, they make me nervous, Dalrand. Not these Solemnic Knights. I think I know what they're about. But strangers I have no history with, no knowledge of. Believe me, my Minotaur friend, that I have a, shall we say, checkered past. I'm just wondering to myself how long I'll be safe here and how long you'll be safe here. And what your plans were after things go amiss, as they surely do with this sort of situation. Strangers coming in at all hours of the night encircled by what I think are undead wolves. It's not a place that I intend to make my permanent residence, shall we say, and if you are interested, I'd be interested in hiring you. Well, of course, I don't have the steel right now, but recently I've been approached about a business deal that could potentially be profitable."
Dalren kind of sniffs and lifts his chin up to the air, scratches underneath it. I'm listening.
At least you're listening. At least I have one of your ears. Now lend me both of them. Over the last 2 days in town, have you seen any strange fellows around? Shrouded, cloaked in shadows, hissing type voice. Altogether, completely unattractive.
Why, yes, I have. Just the day we arrived. No, wait, the next day. Took me a minute to think. I was quite intoxicated that evening. I do remember an individual. He did talk to me. He was quite odd. He was very interested in getting to know me and where I was from. It was quite off-putting, but I do know exactly who you're talking about. Why do you ask?
So Juan, with that kind of probing question, I think Darius would feel a little more comfortable going into his interaction with that figure. I don't want to mess up anything, but then I think that's what he would do.
You guys can
yeah. So
feel free to at any point with any stuff. You don't need to check here.
It sounds like the same chap, and that bloke, he was interested in me. interested in what I have in my pockets, my precious. But anyhow, he said that, was it north of here or was it south? A store full of riches. At least that's what he said. And I would not be inclined to trust someone so unattractive, but he knew an awful lot about me and my recent past. The past of the checkered sort, which I mentioned earlier. Now, I didn't give that man what he wanted, if a man it is. But he said enough to interest me, and the fact that he's approached you makes me even more interested. Did he mention anything to you about... what was it called? Let me pick it up. About the Sanctum and Permissus?
That he did not mention the sanctum. He was more focused on me. Perhaps he was trying to judge my character if it was something I might be interested in, but no, tell me about this sanctum.
Well, he finally feels comfortable enough around the Minotaur that he fishes out the dice again and holds them out. The Minotaur can see that they're like dark black dice leafed with gold. They're slightly larger than the typical pair you would use for a dice game or gambling, but they certainly can be used. He wanted these. A most inconspicuous set of dice, although they are lovely. I have reason to believe these were going to be my ticket for a safe life with one of the loves of my life. But what type of life would that be if I was chased all the time, you know? There are people that want these dice back, Dalrand. And that shadowy figure promised me that if I gave him this dice, he would give me details about the sanctum which held treasure. It seems like a deal with a devil of sorts to me, but I'm quickly running out of options, and his gaze again strays toward the horizon.
Dalrin kind of squats and leans down, maybe steeples his fingers looking at the dice, and goes, impressive, very nice, and stands back up, as well. It's a tough decision to make. I don't think he's the very trusting type, and I don't know what's so special about those dice right there. But if there's something here in these lands, I think there are people willing to take risks. You look like the type of person who gets bored easily, whose fingers are and hands are made to keep busy, because if they don't, they become the tools of the evil gods. And I know your type, Darius. I know that there's going to be an itch in the back of that brain of yours that's going to want to compel you to go find this sanctum. The question is, why does this gentleman that has approached both of us want these dice, and is it something you're willing to give up? And let's not fool ourselves. People like you and me, there's no happy endings. There's just one adventure to the next, trying to get by the skin of our teeth.
No, don't tell me the truth, Dalrin. I don't want to hear it. I've read the books, and so have you. There is a happy ending. It's just... sometimes there's another ending after that. Ending after that, and after that. But listen, that's you and me. Share this information. I'm not going to make a decision yet. Unlike you. That shadowy figure is a snake if I've ever seen one, but if we can figure out more about this sanctum, well, you would look good in a brand new coat, Dalrand.
Yes, I wouldn't mind a few nicer weapons and a few pieces of mail and plate on my back. But, and he kind of looks back within the walls, if there is a happy ending, I don't know if we'll find it in this place.
Not in that inn, at least. But anyhow, they do have ale, and our watch is about over. Join me?
When we are relieved, absolutely.
I don't promise to drink as much as that bard, but I can hold my liquor.
We know that's a lie.
You can both make a perception check. This one, another of these kind of sliding scale checks. The higher you get, the more roll.
I have not rolled a good perception yet, so we'll see. Yeah, that's better.
There
There
you
it is.
go.
Hey,
Okay, good. So you both spot three things. One is that Baldwin is walking back towards you and he's nearly reached the tower. Two is that just rounding the corner here, between the stable and these houses, is your relief. It's the Dragonborn Knight. And the also the white-haired elf, the archer. They're walking to relieve you. But also, Dalrend, you spot something just beyond them. You spot a very austere-looking figure wearing black, crossing across from one of the houses across this area to the inn. Looks like the man you spoke to before.
yeah, Dalren sees the Dragonborn and the elf coming their way, and he points Darius has Darius look in the direction. He goes, speak of the devil and they shall appear.
This is not quite what you were thinking of, Darius. The figure you saw was actually made of shadow. This is a person who wears black, very austere black, and a black cloak. Looks like a spellcaster, though. I mean, maybe someone like this could cloak themselves in shadow, but it does mean that you're not necessarily talking about the same person.
Yeah. He kind of narrows his eyes and says, oh, my bloke looked a little different. But it was late. It was in a dark alley and I really needed to take a piece. Oh, should we approach him? It appears our relief is here.
Is this guy heading towards the inn, or where was he going towards?
He was heading towards the White Hart Inn, yeah.
Yeah, well, looks like that newcomer was headed towards the inn. We might as well make our way there, and if this individual really is interested in our help or recruiting us, I'm sure he'll approach us at the inn.
He kind of looks down at Baldwin. I'm guessing Baldwin still has a pretty dour look on his face.
You can't see with the mask. Yeah, his jaw is clenched, but apart from that, that's about as much.
Yeah.
as
He's
you
very
can tell.
dour, let me tell you.
Well, he says,
Yeah.
Just
Oh,
I had
here
to kill my
comes
whole
Baldwin.
family. Well, it's over.
He goes, there goes Baldwin. And it appears like his new friend was not successful in removing the stick from his arse. He's walking as stiff of a as board.
Huh. He follows the holy gods. I think they all have sticks in their arses.
Well, perhaps we can talk into joining us for a drink.
No harm. Let's go get him.
And they would head down and try to gather up Baldwin and head towards the inn in the ring race.
The ring wraith, I love it.
Oh, no.
Okay, I'm just gonna.
The redhead leaves as soon as she sees the Minotaur.
Like, oh, get... Oh, no.
So just tidings and stuff here. Okay, so you are in the inn. So the interior of the inn
Where me?
looks a bit like this, and let's I'm just adjusting the characters. Give me a minute. So no Isabeau, no Aesh, Dalrend, Darius, and last but not least, Rubrum.
While we're approaching the inn, I would go to Darius. I suppose our watch has ended. I'd look to the Dragonborn and the elf taking our spot.
None too early. I'm famished. You know that chap? Baldwin? The one with the red hair? You two seemed familiar with each other.
He used to visit my family, but that is neither here nor there. He has brought me concerning news about you.
No? He didn't seem concerned.
He never does. Someone had approached him for more or less a bounty on your head, 500 steel.
Darius just turns towards the Minotaur and like eyes up and to the right, like, oh, see, checkered past. And then he says, yeah, he didn't say anything.
The Minotaur kind of looks at him and starts raising his hands like he's going to grab him, and then stops and, nah, that's not enough to turn you in.
What is my price, Dalrand? Never mind.
Do you really want to know?
Baldwin who? Who did he say was after me? I mean, it could be any number of people, but what did it look like?
He shakes his head. I don't... He didn't give me much information other than that there was... Well, it appears that the wolves are being puppeted, so that lends credence to them being undead, but potentially, or at least constructs of some variety. But apparently a wolf was speaking to him. Someone speaking through the wolf, he imagines, based on his arcane understanding.
Yeah. Darius just clenches his fist and, like Newman, he goes, puppet wolves. Well, the word's out, Dalrin. This half-elf isn't long for the world. If everyone after me gets a piece of me, I mean, there'll be nothing left. I mean, just the important part, but nothing much else.
Nah, that's the bit the wolves eat first.
Baldwin will...
Puppet wolves!
He will... Yeah, damn it. He'll look to Darius. You are under our protection here. We would not allow anyone to collect a bounty on you, least of all someone who is puppeting undead creatures. They are likely enemies here to our order.
Sounds like the most unsavory sort of person that would do that.
Indeed.
Baldwin is right. We wouldn't allow someone to collect a bounty on you when we could turn you in ourselves. But they would at least have to get to, and he kind of thinks a minute, 1,500 steel before I considered turning you in.
If what I've told you is true, Dalrand, we stand to make much more than that. Don't slaughter the goose before it lays the golden egg, and I am one handsome goose. My Minotaur friend and my dour paladin. Now, my palate is parched. Come now. Drinks! It's on Baldwin!
Not too many drinks. It's on your salaries now, remember.
That's true.
No.
Yes.
I will only have one drink. And then he immediately asks for a barrel of ale.
Yeah.
I wipe my hands of it. It is on their salary.
Yeah, that's half your week's wages in one go.
Yeah, he I assume Rubrum's in there. Is he sitting by himself or like with
Yeah. How is Rubrum sitting?
Yeah,
There are a few people in here.
Yeah, Rubrum himself is seated at one of the tables, the benches, by himself completely. The table is completely covered with trays and plates and goblets and kind of bread and apples and cheese. He's basically ordered like enough for everyone, but he seems to be eating it like... This man maybe weighs 120 pounds and just is eating and eating and eating and eating.
Interesting. Would not have guessed a man of your stature capable of such a feast. And Dalren just basically invites himself to sit down.
Yeah.
Are you that famished from the road?
I've just always liked to eat. What can I say? You're a big fellow. You probably like to eat too, so go ahead. It's on Baldwin.
Well, I wouldn't have if you hadn't have already purchased it or ordered it. I wouldn't want it to go to waste.
Well, let's order some more.
No. He has been too generous already.
For you, maybe.
And he tips up a glass of wine and looks over to Is Darius there as well?
Yeah, he's
And Baldwin?
decided he's giving you the stink eye from the bar.
Yeah. He just
You're the guy that gave the news that somebody's after him.
he just kind of looks up and gives a nod over to the both of you.
Darius has just a glass of house wine. He's not trying to spend too much money here. And he kind of turns to Baldwin and he said, "Yeah, he knows too much. I can tell he's telling the truth. Look at his eyes. That man is not bothered by much. Not much at all."
He was always a strange fellow.
Surrounded by wolves in the middle of Nightland? And he's enjoying himself like he's at a midsummer's feast. Oh well. He starts heading over to join in the food.
Yeah, and you notice probably with their resignation, Baldwin, that Rubrum's breaking very free with your money.
Yeah, he sets his jaw and he kind of shakes his head and he'll look to. I think it's Jeffrem, isn't it?
Jeffrem, yep, the
He looks
innkeeper.
to Jeffrem and Jeffrem, what is the red-haired one's tab up to at this point?
He looks across at you and says, well, it's running at 1 silver and 5 coppers. And you know he's been here about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I looked at it. That's his limit.
Oh, well, yeah, I think he's got enough there to last him a while.
Good.
And you see, yeah, he's got a full bottle of wine, about 1.5 times the size of a modern bottle, and he's got enough food for 3 people. So he's,
A magnum.
Yeah, because there are all those different sizes, aren't there? Yeah.
Would nod slowly, and he.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
Jeffrem, and he said, "Is there anything that you would need done in the inn this evening? Water to be purified, things to be cleaned."
Oh, well, if you wouldn't mind purifying the water again, last time I was able to sell it. Well water, and people were paying me coin for it. They said they never tasted anything so fresh. Like a mountain spring, they said.
It's the blessings of Mishikal. He was.
And,
is it out back or in a barrel this time?
Well, I've taken the liberty of putting it in a barrel. That way, it seems more proper when people wants to pay money for it. But, well, if you were to do that, I could give you a few coppers for it.
Put it towards the debt, and he
Of
will
course.
go ahead and he will cast purify food and drink on the barrel of impure waters.
Excellent. Great. Yep. So you do that. You also notice that there are kind of specks of some very dodgy looking food crumbs that he's kind of missed on the bar that can suddenly start looking a bit less kind of moldy than they looked a minute ago. and so because it kind of incidentally cleansed stuff in a wider area. But yes, he's very grateful. He gives you your next drink for free, as well as taking 5 coppers off your bill. But you then notice he's selling. He's got a barrel of water there. He give you 5 coppers for it. He's selling drinks from it at 2 coppers each. So he's going to do okay.
I believe he is. I'll go
But
sit with the others at this point.
Yeah. Dalrend, you notice that this fellow over here, the sorcerer, he's sitting on at a table in the corner, and he's looking at you. He seems to be sort of studying you.
Dalrend kind of leans over to Darius, not staring at the creeper, but he's like, that guy over there, the one that's staring at me awkwardly, is that the one you talked to?
He kind of looks over and squints his eye a minute. He takes a drink from his wine and realizes like it's been purified of the alcohol somehow. Like, he's just selling cheap wine here. Oh, no. It's not the same guy. First of all, you can see him. He's backlit by the fire there, and you can actually see his face. And this man I was talking to, lest he was shrouded by some devilry, he was cloaked in gloom, inky blackness. But I would recognize his voice. Go strike up a conversation, Minotaur. Ask him to dance, Dalrend. Buy him a drink. Do what you need to do. Get him talking.
Ugh. That tongue of yours is going to get ripped out someday.
Perhaps, if you don't mind me saying, sooner than you think.
And you, my friend, I meant to introduce myself. Darius Darkhand.
Yes, he did mention that you called yourself Darkhand. I was able to deduce who you were. You're not hard to find.
That's what they all say. Unfortunately, I am trying to, what do they say, lay low, stay hidden, disappear a while, be on the DL.
Well, you are in good fortune then. The one that was looking for you did not know where you were.
Kind of furrows his brow a little bit as he's thinking like something's not quite computing. I dare say. How long ago did you speak with him?
Was it the night before? Only how long ago was it, Wander? Just hours, right?
Yeah, it was the night before. No, it was the night you
okay.
arrived. So yeah, nearly 2 days ago.
2 days.
And that's about the same time I saw my dude, right?
No, you saw your dude last night.
Oh, okay, my dude.
So he's talking about the night you all arrived at Norhold.
Okay, got it. So they would compute then. He looks even more concerned, and for the first time, Rubrum, you don't know Darius very well, but he's usually a little more happy-go-lucky, but he kind of sits his glass of wine down. It's been purified of the alcohol, but no one would know, but he sits it down. Darius never sits down a glass of wine, damn it, but he does now, and pushes his chair back a little bit. Now I'm getting concerned. Did he offer money? What did he say? Details.
Yes.
If you would tell them, no.
He offered me money. He offered me magic.
And yet you refused, or?
I am undecided. He smiles.
You have, like, tries to flatter him a little bit. You have looked to me as a man who can handle himself. I do think if you wished me harm, then I would be face down on this. It was filthy just a minute ago, but I would be face down on this floor. If money doesn't mean anything to you, and promises of magic and power doesn't mean anything to you, then what does?
Why would you be face down on the floor?
You were taking me into custody,
he doesn't-
turning me in for
Yeah.
mere pieces of steel.
Oh, no. I would never do such a thing. If I wanted to bring you in, I would, set you on fire first.
I dare say I have enjoyed being tied up a few times, but never been set on fire.
Why would you
If
enjoy being tied up? It is unpleasant, I find.
Talren interjects. That is an answer you don't want to know.
Why do I not wish to
Darius-
know? I want to know very much.
Yeah, he just laughs and listens to this conversation.
He shrugs and keeps eating.
If the Minotaur won't go strike up a conversation with the darkly clad dude over there, I guess Darius would.
No, Talren will. I was waiting for you guys to wrap up. Didn't want to jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Darius watches. Go for it.
Yeah, Dalren
Dalren
will go over.
Silvertongue.
Yes. He goes over and standing and sits down, and I've been told by a great many women it's not polite to stare.
And he kind of cocks his head on one side and says, "Why would they? Oh, I see. Humor. Ah. Does humor cross species boundaries so easily? Fascinating. Or have you learnt human ways of humor? Are jokes different among your kind, Minotaur?" And as he says so, he's still looking you up and down, kind of sizing you up, Looks to be comparing the size of one ear to another, looking at a curve in your horns. There's a couple of times when his fingers twitch as if he almost wants to reach out and poke something, a part of you.
Minotaurs and our kind aren't known for jokes, but I've been around a great many people, you humans. I have learned what you consider to be funny. And if he wants, I mean, he can see how truthful that is. He has been around a great many humans.
Yes. There are birds that do the same thing. Mimic more intelligent species and learn their ways. Yes. I've heard of such things.
Burn.
You don't think he's actually trying to be offensive. You just think it's just happening.
Yeah, he kind of, there's like a low grumble in his throat, and he considers saying something, but doesn't. But yes, I am aware of humor. If you know anything about Minotaurs, you know our love of the sea, and that is where I met a great many people sailing the seas.
Ah, yes. The waves open these days. Ever since the sea goddess became more merciful. They say that in times past, great storms prevented travel to the lands of Taladas, the Dragon Isles and other places. But now, people from all over the world come to our shores, and some stay. And his tone just changes and he sneers slightly. But you, what brings you over to my table? You showed little desire to talk to me the other night.
I want to know, to be perfectly honest, your fascination with me. It is unsettling if I am being forthright, and I want to know, what is it you want to know? Why did you approach me? What is it that piques your interest?
I am a scholar. I have not seen one of your kind. For a while, my fascination was with the Dragonborn Artesh, but I feel I have plumbed his mysteries now. So it's your turn. I wish to understand, why is your strength greater in proportion to your height, or is it more or less than that might make us expect. Is it true that Minotaurs are stupid, angry brutes, or is there an intelligence lurking there? Perhaps some artistic sensibility? Very rare to see one of your kind, Dalrend. I would learn everything there is to know. And when one day you die, why, then your body itself shall open its secrets to me.
He's like, you can tell he's visibly annoyed by that. He goes, I was going to say we're two of those three things, but you will never get near my body in life or death. It will not reveal its secrets to you. And if you're so interested in minotaurs, you can go ask the smith.
Now, the smith is a brute, crude. He responds only with threats, just because I stole a little of his fur. But you, I expected better from. After all, you were an assistant knight, or whatever they call it. I assumed you subscribed to better behaviour. Very well. I will come by some coin at some point, and no doubt you'll change your tune. We will talk upon that occasion.
We shall see.
And he nods, and then he looks over to the door, and you see a familiar but unwelcome face at the door. You see Geraint, and Geraint sort of looks across from the door and starts heading over to this table as well, and says, Kalinius, I've been meaning to talk to you. I studied that book you lent me. Fascinating, but I have some questions. And then looks across and says, and looks across at you, Dalrend, and his face turns into a outright sneer. And he says, I wish to talk to my friend, Auxiliary. You can rejoin yours at that table. I think the conversation at this table would be of little interest to you.
Dalrand kind of stands up and does like a mocking bow and, but of course, your lordship, kind of turns around and walks away, kind of mumbling to himself.
And you hear Geraint as he leans down and say, I would beat some sense into the dull beast, but it probably wouldn't make any difference. And before you can reply, there is there's a shout from outside. It's a warning shout from the gate, and then you hear cries of "Knights to arms! To arms!" And you know that means you guys now as well, because you're auxiliaries. I'm going to take you back over to the gate, because I presume you head in that direction?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so over back here. Rubrum, you don't have any official...
Yeah, he just
status
goes
here,
out because he's curious.
Yeah.
He has like a drumstick in one hand and his locket in the other.
You can go a little bit of the way up this mound and see over the fences. Let me just change this music. You see some strangers here outside the walls. You can see two groups of dark-clad knights seem to have met near the outpost, and their leader, you might remember him from when you were captives. He looks like, let's make this a bit bigger. He looks like that. And with him, he has a small group of knights with him, but also he has this armored and grey cloaked sorcerer who is kind of shadowing him, like almost like a bodyguard. The other knights they're meeting up with are led by a woman here who is... those of you who are sharp enough eyed can see she's actually very beautiful, but she has a coldness to her. And she's leading a larger detachment of maybe about 20 knights and about 10 footmen. And they meet and they talk. And then the three of them come riding up towards the gate. And then the leader rides out ahead. And by this point, Lord Alfric has been summoned and he's there. It's getting quite dark and it looks like he was already... Being an older man, he was getting ready for... It looks like he was possibly getting ready for bed. He looks a little ruffled. And he... can't find his damn token now. But anyway, he makes his way over to the tower and joins you. The... Oh, here he is. He joins you here. And... let me... Spell his name. Okay, and as he approaches the leader of the Norakan Knights, for that's what they are, takes off his helm to reveal that he has white hair. He's perhaps a little older than you expected. Similar age to Lord Alfric, actually. And he has sort of shoulder-length hair, not quite as long as this picture, but certainly longer than the very short cut that Sir Lord Alfric has. And as Lord Alfric calls down, telling them they're not welcome here, that they should leave, the man, he takes off his helm and looks up and says, "Alfric, old friend, is that you? It's a long time since I've heard your voice." And Alfric looks down at him and wait just a second. And looks up at him. Lord Alfric rather looks down at him and says, "Old friend, I see no old friend. I see only a stranger wearing the face of one who was once my friend before he betrayed everything I believe in." And Corwin kind of shakes his head. Oh, sorry, you don't know his name, but this commander shakes his head and says, "Very well then. We will speak not as old friends, but as commander to commander. I seek shelter for my men for the night. My knights, my soldiers, I would rather them not be tired by fighting off the undead all night. If you permit us entry, I will swear to their good conduct."
Ooh, I would like to see if he's telling the truth. If I think he's telling the truth.
Yep. He seems on the level. In fact, he what he actually says is not. He doesn't swear to their good conduct. He swears to that they have no ill intent in entering. And Lord Alfred looks down at him and says, "We will do so no such thing. This is Salamnic land, and you have no business here." Corwin kind of put this man puts his... And actually, just to make it easier, because I'm going to keep using his name, Lord Alfric says, "You have no business here, Corwin." And Corwin puts his head on one side. "Oh, actually, you do know his name. I know I was thinking you know his name. Baldwin, you know his name."
I know his name, yep.
Yeah. So he actually did... Yeah. And you certainly recognize the sword he's carrying.
I'm up here with Alfred and everything in the battlements, right? Or no?
Yeah. He seems fixated on Lord Alfric at the moment.
Yeah.
He
If
may have glanced in your direction. I'm not sure.
if there's a break where they're kind of sizing each other up, Baldwin. I mean, I gotta play the inside. Baldwin would look to Lord Alfric, or Lord Alfric, if I may.
Hmm?
He does appear to be truthful.
This man can be both truthful and evil in intent all at the same time. His words can be strictly honest, and yet he may mean harm that we do not anticipate. This man twists honor until it is a dark thing. And Corwin looks up, and now he seems to be paying attention to Baldwin and goes, "Is that you, Sir Knight, the former slave? Ha ha ha! Oh, well done indeed. You won your way to freedom. And I see the Minotaur they told me they captured as well. Well, Alfric, have you boosted your waning numbers by picking up strays? Very inventive." And Alfred looks down at him and says, I've not come here to bandy words with invaders, betrayers. Corwin says, "Alfred, if I wished you harm, Manus here." And he gestures at this guy. He says, "Manus here would wave a hand, and that gatehouse would be engulfed by a great ball of fire. We could be through those walls in moments. If you really insist on resisting, I would just take your outpost. But I would rather come as a guest and speak with my old friend." And you can see he's smiling now because he's obviously doing it just to wind Alfred up.
With what limited military experience Baldwin has, looking at their numbers and sizing up what I know to be true of us, would I be able to make some kind of, I don't know, some kind of intelligence check or something to like, what are our chances if we did have to defend this in a siege?
You can make a, you and I guess I'll let Dalrend do it as well.
Dalrend, he already identified the Knight of the Thorn. Isn't that what it was called?
Yes.
Manus, yeah, so he's basically like a battle mage or whatever you want to call it. So Dalrend kind of quietly to the group. "I'll never admit it out loud to him, but he's right. Even holding these walls, we can't stop them." And he points to the cloaked knight, and he goes, "That's a Knight of the Thorn right there."
Darius kind of turns this conversation. They could take our outpost at ease, and why can they simply not defend themselves against whatever is prowling in these woods? I feel they're part and parcel of the same devilry.
These lands are bloated with undead. If they are being beset by them as well, then I mean the undead answer to no one unless there is someone who can control bits and pieces of them. Wait, what was the check, Juan, for me?
You can make an intelligence check.
Ooh, this ought to go well.
It's gonna be terrible.
Okay, but you can add your proficiency bonus to it, so that'll be a 9.
9, yeah.
Yeah. So...
mine would be 12 then.
Yeah, okay, that's a little better. Yeah, you... So, Baldwin, you can see, as well as this Knight of the Thorn, you can see some of the knights with them are
Once
have
retired, Marcus
a
decided,
large
I will never
skull
again work for
motif
another
on their
man.
armor. They all have some skull motifs, but some that have a really large skull motif, particularly this woman here, and they are basically their battle clerics. So they have a force with probably about 5 spellcasters there of unknown power. Some of the knights look, their armor looks, battle worn. So you're not sure you really rate your chances. On numbers, you might be able to hold this place. You might. The odds would still be against you. But if they've got fire and you've got all these buildings with thatched roofs...
Wood is not good. Yeah, Baldwin, again, he looks to Lord Alfric, and I might even try to persuade him. He looks to Lord Alfric and says, Lord Alfric, I can understand your misgivings with these men. I am not fond of Sir Truelance myself. That said, we must think about the settlement, and Baldwin gestures to the wood and everything. They have several mages with them. If they were to rain fire on this place, even if we were able to defend, to keep them from breaching the walls, it might doom us all the same. It might tear down this place, and the undead would have free reign to us. We have a common enemy in the undead, and they have a reason not to invite conflict to this place. It is, of course, your decision, my lord, but think of what could happen if we fight a battle now against these foes. Even to win, it might be a defeat.
And Lord Alfred kind of closes his eyes for a second, and you hear his teeth grinding. He says, in the silence, you hear the Rubrum's footsteps coming up the ladder to the gatehouse, but Alfred doesn't. He nods and inhales and says, very well. Your order is ever the voice of peace. And there is wisdom in that. But I do not trust this man.
No, absolutely not. We should keep close watch on them, and I will do my part.
I will watch them. You should not trust them, he says. Just, butting
Alfred
in.
kind of jumps. Yeah, Alfred kind of starts. He's not expecting you. And says, yes. And he obviously has no idea who you are. He's thinking, why is this guy? I don't recognize him.
This is Rubrum, a sorcerer of great power who I allowed in.
Great power. I could smite them quite easily.
Well then, why do we need fear their sorcerer if we have a greater sorcerer of our own? I think things have just changed, Darrett Baldwin. Rubrum here could probably destroy them all by himself. Is that right, Rubrum? Perhaps we should just entrust our defense to him. And he's looking hopeful.
Rubrum's smiling and nodding, like he's kind of oblivious.
Baldwin looks at Alfred, and he very slight shake of the head, like no, just not saying anything.
Right. And Alfred sort of catches it out of the corner of his eye, and then his shoulders just kind of slump again, and he nods. And he says, I thank you for your valuable help.
I could go parley with him if you wish.
I thank you for the offer, but as commander of this outpost, that is my role. I must do a distasteful thing for the good of my command. So the measure dictates. I thank you, Baldwin, for reminding me of my duty. And he takes a deep breath and says, Commander Corwin Truelance of the Knights of Naraka, if we allow you entry, do you swear that you hold no ill intent, and swear not to do violence by me or any of my men, or any civilian who dwells within? And Commander Corwin, with a slight, almost a mocking smile, he holds up his hand, and then he becomes actually quite serious and says, "I do so swear by the great god Sarganas." Sarganas is the god of vengeance, and he's the dark god they follow.
Baldwin will raise his hand. And under Mishikal's gaze, we acknowledge that this has been said.
And Corwin kind of turns to this woman and nods to her, and she says, "Very well, sir. I'll take care of the men. Very well, Commander. I'll take care of the men." And this man kind of nods to her. These two here kind of nod to each other coldly. You don't think there's any love lost there. And then the sorcerer follows the commander in the gate. As you go in, Alfric turns to Isabeau, who's fairly close by, and says to her, "Isabeau, I think it's best that you take guard duty in the keep." She protests, but he sends her off to do it, and he asks her to go and take Aish with her. You think it's probably just to keep him out of trouble. So they head up to the keep and barricade the. If we go back to the map here, there is an inner wall here around the keep, and they kind of barricade that and then go and stand up on the towers. You all stay in the gatehouse. The tiny garrison here watches as the greater numbers of the Narakan knights file in. The mist is beginning to rise, the sun has set, and darkness is coming. And sure enough, you hear the first few howls of the noise that's become so familiar to you over the past few nights. This howl of what you now believe are undead wolves, a howl that's not just the howl of a living wolf, but seems to echo with despair and pain. But then you close the door and those fears of the night seem a little more distant. But the knights, your enemies, are here among you. They take their horses to the stable, where the footmen take care of them for the nights. I say footmen, but they are men and women, both knights and the foot soldiers. Mostly human, but you do see a few elves. And for you, Darius, that's quite a surprise, because the elves are traditionally servants of the gods of light, but there have always been some who take a different path. You know that any such elf would be outcast to their kin, and perhaps therefore a particularly desperate foe. But most of them are human. And you see them take care of their horses and then head over to the inn. The commander is given a polite but cold invitation by Alfric to join him in the keep, provided he takes no more than 2 men with him. And he takes his ever-present shadow, the sorcerer, Manus. You hear Manus's rank being mentioned as Talon Leader, which is basically a kind of NCO rank. The knights file through to the inn, and as they go through, Alfric turns to you, Baldwin, and says, "Perhaps it would be best if you could keep an eye on things." Because you notice the second in command of the knights has gone in there as well. And several of the Salamnic knights are in there. Others are staying on duty, armed and watching. But there are so few of you. If they do anything, you're in real trouble.
Yeah, Baldwin nods to Alfric. I intend to, my lord, and we shall keep the peace. I do not think they will risk violence here. There be no purpose to it. They would put themselves at risk just as much as us.
Yes, I do not fear treachery as such from Corwin, but he means at the very least to rub in my face his superiority in numbers and in magical force. I do not know what he has planned.
An
But thank you.
observation, though, my lord, if I may.
Of course.
If he ever tries to bite you in any conversation there, just remind him who came to who for help.
He smiles and says, "Thank you, Baldwin. That is a cheering thought." And he claps you on the back, and then goes back to Corwin and says, "This way, Commander Trulance," and starts leading him off towards the keep. Anything else you guys want to do before we go to the inn?
I don't
Dalrand's
think
good.
so.
Okay.
Good.
Oh, actually, you know what? Dalrand, as they're walking to the inn, will kind of lean
Yeah.
over to Darius. Do not try to pickpocket them.
Do you think I'm some sort of oaf? I will never try to pickpocket anybody. I just simply do it. He just walks into the inn.
That's not what you want to hear!
As you walk in, you can see things are tense in there. This is kind of the arrangement. So as we go through here, the sorcerer Kalinius is still talking to Geraint over here. But Geraint is now looking very sort of stiff-backed because right at the next booth to them, there's the second in command of the knights, a skull knight, one of their dark clerics, and another knight here. There are knights here in the centre and a footman. Over here is Cassa, the kind of lay priestess of Mina. She seems to be talking to Kerin and Arden, the two who came on the caravan with you. Eleanor and Artesh, the knights, are sitting here. In fact, no, they're both sitting around here, actually. They are pretending to sit and drink, but their drinks are actually untouched, and they're just watching the room. And oh no, I know why they're actually like they are actually like this, and they look poised to both kind of slip out of these benches if there's any trouble. And there are two groups of knights here around by these tables at the door. Here at the bar are drinking some of the kind of labourers of the outpost. There's the Minotaur smith Kurgath, the Dwarven smith Granite, Wilfrid, the general labourer, Datrig, who spends half his time doing odd jobs and the rest of the time being the village butcher, and Osrin, the hunter, who brings him meat to butcher. As you enter, you're just kind of taking in all of this and watching and seeing how tense things are. The Knights of Naraka are very much kind of acting like they own the place very consciously, kind of snapping their fingers for Jeffrem to come running. They're not actually, kind of doing anything that bad, but there's a constant air that they kind of like, yeah, I could choose to if I wanted to. I'm choosing to behave myself. And as you walk in thinking that, Dalren, you're just entering the room looking round, but all of a sudden this guy here pulls back his chair and it bashes into your leg hard. And then he kind of starts and drops half his beer on the floor. And he stands up, looks you in the chest and then up towards your eyes, and then says, What the fuck? They got livestock here walking on two legs, boys.
Oh, shit.
He
Down.
goes,
Oh, go ahead.
and then he says, "You gonna buy me a new drink, car?"
He looks down at his feet. He looks at his hooves are wet from the beer. He looks at him when he says livestock and then demanding a drink. And then, why, yes, I am going to buy you a drink. I'll be right back.
And then just making it more obvious that he really wants to pick a fight, as you're starting to go, he pours the rest of the drink down your leg and goes, "Get me a whole one."
Oh, well, we'll cancel what I was going to do. And instead, he goes, and then just spits right in his face. He goes, "There's your drink, pissant."
And immediately, it's obvious they were waiting for this to kick off, these guys at the nearby table. They all draw weapons and stand up. The people start all moving at other tables at the same time, but as they do, this lady here yells out, "Knights, stay seated. Private matter of honor." And Geraint also stands up and yells, "Norhold garrison, stay out of this. Let the auxiliaries deal with their own mess." And you guys can all roll initiative because they obviously blatantly provoked this to start a fight.
So is it 1v1 or the 4v4?
No, it's the four of them are getting up.
All right.
So are all four of you going to join? Well, you can all roll initiative and just then decide what you're going to do. So let me...
I know what I'm going to do. In it.
You're going to pick their pockets while they're distracted. Okay, so I'm going to bring up the turn order here. Just remember you've got to have your token selected to roll initiative. I know what I wanted to do. I just need to bring up something here. Look this up.
I rolled an 11, but I didn't have my guy selected at the time. Sorry.
Okay. Rubrum, 11. Thank you. Oh, there's still some others on here. Let me take those off. Okay, Baldwin, were you 9 or 19? Looks like I didn't clear the
was
turn
9.
tracker.
Yep,
Okay.
it was 9.
Thank you. And I'm just looking this up because I'm just going to roll for them. Where are we? Here. Okay, so I'm just waiting for something to load. Okay, so we've got these guys here. This guy.
Oh shit.
Okay.
They were ready for a fight, so it makes
Yeah.
That is true.
he's
Yep.
rolling fat.
Oh, that's the wrong one for that guy. Darn it. Okay, let's do it for this guy. And then this guy, I'm just going to delete it because he should be different. He should be this guy. Okay. Right, let's open this up.
You threw me in at 11.
And so I have done. Yep.
I don't see it on my tracker.
Do you not?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'll re-add you.
I don't see it on there either.
Okay, it must be because I can see stuff that was there before, and I think Rubrum just happened to be there before. I'll just do it again.
Or I could just roll it. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
There it is.
Okay. So, yeah, things are kicking off, Darius. It's pretty obvious that they were planning this. You have a quick glance to make sure that this guy next to you isn't planning anything. He's just kind of sitting back over here on this other stool and watching. So you realize it's just you four against these four. And everyone else is just going to be watching. And you think, yeah, thank you, Green. What are you going to do?
So, as Dalaran, at first he knows it's gonna be on as soon as this dude hits Dalaran in the leg. He's like, oh shit. So he's starting to finger his dagger kind of on his right hip, and once the loogie flies, he knows it's gonna be on. So, pardon me, gentlemen. I'm sorry. If I could just stop this, allow me to purchase the first round of drinks. And instead of going for his money, he has that dagger and acts like he's going to come up and just tries to slice the guy's throat.
Oh, okay.
Fuck.
You can make a deception check, and if it's successful, I'll let you have.
Sneak attack.
You want to go up next to him? Well, you're going to get sneak attack anyway. But if you are successful in your deception check, I will let you have advantage on the attack.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Beat his passive insight.
Heyo.
24. Oh yeah, that beats his passive insight. Yep. He's not expecting it. He's really focused on Dalren, so you get advantage on your first attack.
So advantage. Roll. Let's see if this works.
11.
So it takes the biggest one. Yep.
Yep. Okay. No. 11. No, you actually you slash across towards his throat, but he's wearing a kind of male coif, and it just kind of the dagger kind of slices across it. And there's a kind of clink of this, and he goes, "You sneaky little bastard!"
There's more where that came from. And he, what he's going to do, I still get my movement bonus, right?
You do, yeah.
So he's going to use a cunning action to disengage as a bonus action. And he's going to get some distance.
Okay.
Wherever is a reasonable distance, I don't know.
You can measure it out. There are actually squares here. I can show.
And see. Snap to corner. Is it 6 or 5? Let me see.
Yeah, it should be 6.
6.
Let me show the.
I like the no squares. All right, he'll move to right here.
Let's show them. Make it fairly subtle.
There we go. Hang on. Dude, I can't really remember.
Q.
It's long since I did.
Q.
It's Q.
You. Sorry, I was busy fiddling with the opacity of the map.
So my Q measures from... It was this one then. Let me see if I get that right. Snap to corner. Yeah, that's fine.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Great. This guy was starting to head over to you, but when you run for it, he decides to go for the help his friend with a bigger target. 15, 20, and he moves in here and attacks Dalrend. He has a short sword. Oh no, actually he's got a short spear, in fact. Oh, I won't more damage until I've rolled
Too
it,
short.
actually. Yeah, his attack
that was
roll's
a
not
very
that
short
damage.
spear.
Yeah.
Is that all you're working with?
Yeah, the spear kind of like glances off the chainmail Dalrend has, and he kind of roars in laughter.
Dalren's turn.
As he draws his sword and brings it down on the bastard that spilt his drink on him.
Yep.
Alrighty.
Shit.
Guessing that's a
Well,
hit.
that'll hit. Yep. Yeah, you actually.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm gonna describe how you kill him in one blow.
Oh, I
So,
distracted.
yeah, exactly. He's distracted by the tiny thief and his tiny dagger, And while he's cursing him, he's like looking to the left as Darius runs away, and his friend kind of thrusts the spear, and Dalren just kind of rotates his torso. It glances off him in one smooth motion. He brings the great sword off his back in a downward motion. Just the guy turns just in time to see the blade go right into his chest, and that's all she wrote for this gentleman who bit off more than he could chew.
Well, I say died, but he's down and dying, right? He's not anything to worry about, but they do have a healer who could potentially save his life.
I'm gonna go crazy, and I'm gonna go ahead and use my oh crap, what's it called?
Action
Where
surge?
I get action surge and swing at the guy who tried to stab me.
Okay, go for it.
Okay. $15.
Okay, no, this guy he's unslung a shield, and he manages to catch just as he's taking the shield off his back, he sees that coming and he kind of shrugs under the shield and catches it on his arm.
I'm going to use lucky.
On the shield. Oh yeah, okay.
Let's see what happens. We're trying all the abilities.
Yeah.
Take 2.
Oh, that's enough. That's enough.
All right, we know their armor class here.
Yeah.
This guy anyway.
Right?
Yep. So you can roll the damage. 8. Okay, so he's badly injured. And he throws up his shield and he thinks he's blocked it. But just as that happens, Dalren's hoof just kind of catches in a loose edge of the board and he stumbles, which changes the arc of the axe, and it goes under the bottom of the shield and slices into the guy's side. He yells in pain. Anything else from Dalren?
That's going to be it.
Okay. The first knight steps up and steps up to Dalren and says, "You'll pay for that, Minotaur." And he attacks twice with his longsword.
Oh.
Ooh. That's going to be 11 slashing damage.
Total?
Yep.
Okay.
Tis but a scratch.
So yeah, he walks forward and he makes 2 skilled blows with his longsword, and he manages to cut slashes into both of Dalren's sides, one after another. And he doesn't gloat. He doesn't say anything more. He's just determined. He's a bit more of an experienced opponent. First footman is now dead, so we're on to Rubrum.
Rubrum has a turkey leg in one hand still. The meat is getting cold, and he seems, as usual, very nonchalant. He just kind of moves up here. Yeah, hold on, let me do the Q1, 2. Oops, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, he just moves up here, kind of walks over. He turns and he looks at them and he goes, "You are being very rude." And he casts Burning Hands.
Oh fuck!
In a wooden building?
Oh yeah. He doesn't. Yeah, he just.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay. Roll for damage.
9. They get to make a reflex.
I was going to say
Yeah.
if it's 10 or more, that's when things would really start burning. But we can still have things on the
So
table.
this should hit
as well.
these
So,
2 guys, I think.
Oh
Yeah.
no!
Yeah, so it's going to hit a cone here, and then out to kind of this table
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. So the one on the ground can't save, so he is really
Oh
badly injured.
no.
In fact, he's definitely dead now.
Just the critter.
This guy here, whether he saves or not, he's down. And this guy here gets a DC 13 dex save. Yes. So he takes half
Yeah.
damage. Okay.
Yeah, it just erupts out of his hand, and these two guys are just like set on fire. Their chainmail melting into their flesh.
Yeah, the one here just kind of twitches as he burns and then stops twitching. This one here is goes down. He shrieks in pain and then collapses. This guy here, he throws up his shield and covers himself from the worst of the blast. The table and chairs here. So we're going to see if we get less than a 13 on any of these three rolls, the thing is going to catch fire. So we're going to do that bottom chair first. No, that's fine. It got singed, but it hasn't caught fire. Top chair catches fire. Table is fine. And then lastly, on a 10 or higher, the bottles of alcohol. There's a bottle of wine on the table and some other stuff there. And there's a wine-soaked napkin, so that napkin's going to catch fire on a 10 or higher. Oh,
And it's a sturdy fucking napkin.
And it's a Molotov cocktail.
yeah. Somehow the napkin is badly singed, but it's more it's thrown off the table onto the floor rather than
It's
catching
because
fire.
it was purified earlier and has no alcohol content left.
The footman falls down dead in the puddle of beer that was meant for Dalrand. Ironic.
yeah.
Oh man.
Ironic.
Okay, Rubrum. anything
No,
else
that's
from you? You've done enough. Yep. Okay.
Oh god.
Okay. So we've
What a
got one
fucking
chair.
disaster.
One chair on fire, but nothing else.
Yeah, Baldwin, as a free action, will call over his shoulder. Joffrey, grab some water, and he will, fucking... So if I get around the back of this guy, would this provide any advantage at all, or no?
Not to your attack, because he is kind of watching you. He kind of
That's all right.
tracks you both, and he's kind of facing in that direction, really.
I will... Let's see, what do I have? You know what? I'll just try to... I think I'll try to set up for... Rand. I'm gonna go ahead and cast... try to use command on this guy.
Okay.
That's
What's
what
the
it
command?
is. It's gonna be grovel. Just make him go prone. So
Okay.
Baldwin, he will whisper under his breath activation phrase in Celestial. He'll say Mandatum, and then he just points at the dragon. Is it the dragon warrior? What is Dragon army soldier? It says
No, he's
Bravo.
a knight. He's a knight of the
Um,
Lily. I'm just using Dragon Armor
Oh,
sort of stats
gotcha.
for him.
Yeah, he points and says Bravo, and he just try to get him to. Let's see, what is that? It's a DC 13. Cast at level 1. There it is.
Okay. DC 13, right, and that's a Wisdom save.
Wisdom.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
He
He,
is prone.
yeah, you can describe what happens.
Yeah, so I yell for him to grovel, and he has the shield. He's standing there, and there's that look of confusion, and his body slowly goes down into a prone, and he's like basically bowing before Dalrend.
Behind you, you hear the Dark Cleric say, "That's a nice little parlor trick. and he steps up behind you. And what does he do? No, he's just gonna attack you, I think. Let me just check here. No, he doesn't actually step up. He stays a square back here. And he mutters a prayer. And he you can see that it. I just think how that would look. He and the other knight, they suddenly get this new sense of resolve. Okay. And that's all he does, I think. No, actually, he moves 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So, Bo, I've got your movement thing over the screen. Thank you. 30. He moves in here, sees this one's dead, and starts looking like he's going to try and minister to this one. Okay. Darius, what are you going to do?
Yeah, sorry. I thought that hide from others thing was clicked. So you can see that thing.
Yes, yeah. I couldn't when you were doing it before.
I bet the GM can see it, but I bet the can players. You see that?
What?
What am
Obviously.
There's your answer. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
There you
Didn't see
go.
shit.
Yeah, I'll see if I can try to line up. To switch weapons in the system, is it like a movement action or?
That's fine. No, you can just do it.
I think it's
You
free.
can just do it.
A big
Yeah,
free.
shoot.
Yeah, you get one free object interaction around, and I'll count that.
Okay. Yep. So he just quickly he sheaths his dagger, and in his hand is his short bow, and a quick you hear the thwink as he unlooses a bolt.
This guy here ducks.
Yeah, fires. And let's see here. My guy has to be selected, right? Let's see. Here we go. Short bow.
No. He's actually, this guy's wearing plate armor, and it just pings off it.
Pings off of him. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, is there like a crowd kind of gathered around type of deal?
No, everyone's being ordered to stay in their seats. It's really weird. Everyone is super tense and wanting to get up and either, depending on who it is, either run away or join in. But everyone's been ordered to stay there. And
Okay.
there's this incredibly tense crowd watching everything.
Okay. Well, yeah, so he acts like he's going to get lost in the crowd, and like everybody just backs away from him. Like, oh, shit. So then if he didn't have to use anything, I guess he can use dash as bonus action.
Sure. The guys at the bar are kind of move out your way if you go in that direction.
Yeah, he can. I can probably even have enough movement to move around these people. So yeah, so he skirts around the fight quickly with preternatural speed, and he starts to knock another arrow.
Yeah, you get resentful looks from the knights sitting at this table, the knights and the footmen at this table, but they don't actually act. Okay, next, this guy's down, so we won't worry about him for now. Dalrend.
So I get to attack with advantage, correct? Since he's prone.
He's also dying.
No, he's talking
No,
about
this
the
guy-
one
I'm
that was
talking about the
commanded.
knight.
guy.
Oh, that guy
Commander.
there. Sorry, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Is he in plate mail then? Did I hear that?
That guy there is in scale mail.
All right, so we're gonna do advantage. Change it
I
to
should have
advantage
asked.
and swing.
Hey.
Oh, that
I'm
hits.
guessing the 22 hits.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Oh,
Oh, nice.
and there's 12 damage.
Very nice. Okay. So, yeah, he's looking quite injured. But you were kind of hoping to finish him. You hit him with a mighty blow, and you were hoping to finish him off. But he seems made of tougher stuff.
So for my bonus action, I'm going to use Second Wind and recover some of my hit points lost, which is 1d10 plus my fighter level.
Yep.
So 10 hit points back.
Nice.
That's
Okay.
pretty good.
Anything else from you?
That is it.
Okay. The knight stands up, and he just steps to here, and no, actually, he steps back to back with his colleague here over the body of the fallen footman, who I'm just going to move out of the way. And this time he attacks Baldwin. He turns to you and says, "Coward, using sorcery on a man from behind." And he is going to attack you twice with his longsword.
First one hits.
Okay, so the 18 hits. So he does 6 points of slashing damage to you. Okay.
Why does it say slashing fire, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Yeah, because they are. This is based on a stat block that
Gotcha.
includes some the ability to set fire to their weapon and stuff. But he's not using that.
He's not using that sword.
He
today.
doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows not to use fire in a wooden place.
Yeah. It's,
Yeah, I mean, who'd do that?
he's
I'll show you.
back.
Who'd do that? Rubrum.
Rubrum,
Speaking of which,
he's got this drumstick and it's like, smoldering. He slides down here and burning hands on both of them.
Oh no! By the way, I'm just going to see what's happening to that chair. So
Does anybody make water?
15 or lower, it gets worse, and
Make water.
16 or higher, it burns out. Okay, it's getting worse.
oh,
Okay.
fuck me.
Okay, burning hands from you. You're going to hit Baldwin.
Oh, it's a.
Oh no! I guess you.
Yeah,
can do the
I would
angle,
do an angle. I would kind of shoot it this,
1, 2, 3,
diagonal.
there.
Not
Yeah, okay, got it. Yeah, you can do a kind of shape.
6
I get it.
damage, unfortunately.
Okay, so let's. You definitely kill the one on the floor. And let's roll for these guys. So we've got the Knight of the Skull. Oh, that was initiative. Sorry. No, still doesn't
Reflex.
save. So he's going to take 6 damage. Oh, is it reflex?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Well, he rolled a 5 or 4, right?
Dex.
But he's
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
there.
Yeah. And the Knight of the Lily is Dex save. He's fine. Okay.
Takes 3, right?
Yeah. And this guy seems to be barely injured for some reason. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not quite sure what happened there. You suspect magic.
Which one wasn't
anything else
hurt?
from
The
Woodman? This one, he
cleric?
was slightly hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was barely singed. But a sense of kind of determination and resolve that he had about him before has kind of vanished.
Okay.
Anything else from Rubrum? Oh, and I need to roll for the that chair that was on fire before is now really ablaze because you hit it again. I'm going to roll for the table. The napkin, of course, flew away to safety, so the napkin is fine. I just want everyone to know that.
That's all we really care about.
I'm gonna stay where I
table.
am though.
Table's on fire now. Okay. The floor, by the way, is okay because it's kind of a fan at a bit of a higher height, but the table and chairs, I'm saying, are high enough to catch it.
Just soaked in old beer and urine.
I'm definitely not gonna cast it again next round.
Because you fucking ran.
No,
You
I
probably
didn't
always.
actually, because I'm level 2 now.
Motherfucker.
Baldwin.
I'm gonna have you move this dead guy again because I'm getting right up in there.
Okay.
Burning table be
Why are you
damned.
moving in my way?
And
It's
Baldwin.
smouldering at the moment. It's not fully on fire.
Yeah, sure. Baldwin raises the fist with a mace in it and just says, "Lux Eternus," and Hand of Radiance, both these guys. So they have to make, I think, I don't know, I'm good, just link it.
Word of radiance, is it?
Hand of Radiance.
Oh, okay.
Yep, it
Not
is
familiar with that one.
Constitution save or 1 fucking damage, I guess.
Oh, that'll
Just
teach you.
mineral, that's fine. With every
Okay.
creature within 5 feet.
So this
Or
guy
that I
here.
choose, so these two, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, he's fine.
No, he's fine. And the Knight of the Skull. Ah,
1
he's hit
damage.
for 1 damage. Okay. Right. Anything else from Baldwin?
No, that's it.
Okay. The Knight of the Skull. He actually heals this guy here. Okay, so he's gonna heal for
Yes.
1 plus.
That frontline medic.
So yeah, he just gets 2 back. Okay. He's been under a lot of pressure at work. And he then he kind of rounds on. What's he going to do? He is going to take an attack of opportunity as he steps up to Rubrum.
I will make that.
Yep. He's wearing plate armor and with his shield. He's preparing to defend himself with his shield as he moves away as well.
That's not gonna hit.
No. Yeah. You land a blow on the armor, but the armor just takes it. Okay. Next, Darius.
Darius takes his bow.
Yep.
And he's gonna shoot that dude.
Okay. And you'll get sneak attack if you succeed because you've got an ally next to it.
Sneak attack is so I'm in advantage then.
Yep.
All right. Short bow. Yeah, it's really weird. You can't toggle that advantage unless you click on the little +5. That's fine. Roll. Rolling like shit. 13
Oh
times.
yeah. No, it hits him in the back of his shoulder and just pings off into the ceiling.
He looks at this bow like there's something wrong with it and draws his rapier.
Gotta be the bow.
It's not my
Sorry,
fault.
The
That's
string is wet.
Yep.
Just have Rubrum cast Burning
Yeah,
Hand.
I'll
That'll be fine.
I'll dry it up for you.
Clear that away real fast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
We're in.
Actually, there was something I forgot to do. I need to do this for.
If he's near the flames, he'd move away, obviously, too. I don't know if he's...
No, you're all right, but it was. I was
Okay.
thinking about the flames. The Knight of the Lily and Baldwin will both take some fire damage. You each take 5 points of fire damage. Because the chair and now the table's not too bad, but the table's catching more because the chair's right next to it. So if that table goes up, that's going to be quite serious for the inn. Okay, Darius is done, I presume. Dalrend.
Dalrend. He's going to keep hammering away this slightly burning, multiple stab wound knight. He's going to try and finish him off as best he can.
Okay.
And he continues to swing with his greatsword, looking for an opening to put the odds completely in their favor. Yeah, we're going to use another luck point on that. Fuck that. Oh my god, even worse.
Shit.
There goes another point. Mark that off.
Okay. So Dalren kind of swings at this guy and he parries the blow effortlessly. He's looking quite injured, nearly as much from the fire as from Dalren. So this time he steps away from the fire here, and he attacks Baldwin again. Now this time he's going to attack Baldwin once and Dalren once. So once on Baldwin. 15. Sorry?
Misses.
Okay. And once on Dalren. That
Also a
misses.
miss.
Yeah. He shouldn't have... He kind of curses in frustration. Splitting his attention between the two of you meant he didn't get a solid blow on either of you. And we're back to Rubrum.
So, if I move, does he take an opportunity attack?
Yes, unless you spend your action to disengage.
Yeah, I'll just I'll go to Burning Hands this guy right in front of me.
Okay, let's think of the angle here. Or if you Burning Hands him,
And
if you get wait, Ted, I'm just going to
Yeah.
say if you Burning Hands him, you're going to hit this guy as well.
No, I don't think so.
Just
Just
shy.
shy.
I think
No,
so.
I'm measuring
You're
it
gonna
out.
cinch a
No,
short
because
hair.
the 15 starts from here.
Oh,
not
that's
from you.
fine. I don't care.
Oh my god. We're gonna have a
Okay.
serious fucking conversation after this is done, Rubrum.
What else am I gonna do?
Not that! It's a
Anything?
fucking wooden inn!
The fire will put out the fire.
We've all heard the phrase
Any
fighting fire with fire.
Now
Okay,
I won't do
so,
it again.
Yeah. You do, yeah, so you realise it's going to hit this guy as well, and you're fine with that.
Yes, he would be fine with that.
Okay. 10, 15, it's also going to hit the table and the chair again, so...
Yeah, I just he's got his arms out, and this just all this fire just keeps jutting out.
Yeah.
It stops, and then it starts up again.
In fairness,
Okay.
if he didn't see the guy with the human flamethrower and he didn't back up, it's kind of on him.
yeah,
that's all right. I'm gonna put him out.
Okay,
That-
right.
That makes me feel so much better when you say it.
I'm just
Oh,
going to
you know what I'm
go...
gonna do when I put him out.
Yeah, I was going to say you go over and pee on him. No, don't do that.
Oh man.
Okay. So, let's do this guy first. Dex save. Here.
Nope.
No, he fails, so that's 10 points of damage. Ouch. Okay, he's quite badly injured. He screams in pain as he's just engulfed by flame. This guy here. He's one of these guys.
Please dodge. Oh fuck.
So he takes 10 points of damage too. And he
this
screams in
dude?
pain and then yells, "For Sarganas!" and gets up to join the fight.
You fuck.
Okay, so he's coming in. Just straight after Rubrum. Okay, that works. Okay, anything else from Rubrum?
No, because I don't want to take an opportunity attack. Is that just a bonus action for him to do that? Is that what that is?
It's a reaction.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'll
it's a
just
different
stick
thing.
there.
Okay, this guy comes running in and goes, "I'm gonna fuck you up, sorcerer!" And he attacks twice with his longsword. That's a 19,
That hits.
and that's an 18.
That also hits.
So he takes a total of 10 points of slashing
Yeah.
damage.
You want me to mark it off, or?
Yep.
Damn. Oh,
You can
I
just
see.
look up your current HP.
You also have to describe it, Ted.
Yeah, he just comes in and starts slicing into him. He's like, he just kind of like tries to step back with his hacked pieces.
I think
You
you
want to
should
tell
lose the
me to
turkey
describe
wing.
it?
The turkey wing goes flying, I think.
Yeah,
What the punishment
it's
is.
gone. Drop to the floor.
Lands on this table.
Okay, Baldwin, you're going to take another d6 fire damage.
Nope.
1. Okay,
accept
not too
it.
bad. Okay. If you're still there at the end of this round, you'll be starting to take 2d6 fire damage. It's getting quite nasty.
Will not be there. I'm gonna step into the middle. I'm gonna keep making you move these dead guys because they're in really good spots. And we're gonna do Hand of Radiance. We're gonna force it on all 3 of these guys because they're all within 5 feet of me.
And what about your friends? Are they exempt?
It's of my choice.
Okay.
I believe so. Let me see. Yep. Each creature of your choice,
Your
you can
choice.
see within 5
Yeah.
feet. So it's con save or 5 damage for anyone who fails.
Okay, so the guy next to Rubrum, first of all. No, he's going to take 5 damage. Okay, the
Burning
other one of
radiance.
those knights. He made it, so he's fine. And the Dark Cleric, the Knight of the Skull, he is... Oh! He's now badly injured. Okay. He on his turn heals himself. So it's going to be... He calls upon the god Sarganas. Sarganas, by your holy name, let me be healed, and I may wreak vengeance upon these thy enemies. And he, you see a kind of purplish light come out from his hands, and he gives a little gasp and seems reinvigorated. Okay, Darius, you see that this table and chair are getting to the point where they're about to set fire to the inn floor. At which point things get serious.
Okay.
Jeffrem has come out from behind the bar and he's yelling, "Fire! Fire!" But the trouble is you guys are near the only exit. There's a big sword fight going on in the only exit. So this lady and Geraint are both yelling, stop this madness, the inn's gonna burn. And she's yelling, "Knights, stand down, you fools! We'll all die." So does Darius pay any attention to that?
I want to kill somebody, but I probably should. Yeah, is there any anything non-alcoholic around that I could throw on the place that's burning?
Not around, but I mean beer probably won't set it on fire. I don't think beer will make it worse. I think it's weak enough.
Yep. The guy goes over here and says, okay. Thank you, mate. Thank you, mate. My lady. Oh, don't you look lovely tonight? That is a lovely dress. I love it how it accentuates the bust. Thank you very much. He takes all their beer.
And Arden says,
yeah.
"Why are you calling me my lady?" And hands you the picture. And,
yeah, so he has the big St. Pauli girl, all of them, and he kind of runs over this way and just dumps it all out to try to put the fire out of the worst of it here.
Okay, make a dexterity check. Okay.
Well, that's the dexterity save. Which is
yeah. So
okay, I did that wrong.
It certainly won't be any better. So you stop it getting worse, but it's still risking this. The table you think is kind of out. It's smouldering, but it's not going to get any worse. Yeah, the chair though is looking really bad. Okay. On to Dalrend. There are calls for everyone to stand down. These knights are looking like they're switching to a more defensive posture than attacking now.
I'm sorry, I'm just a stupid minotaur. I can't hear what you're saying.
Okay, and that's on this guy?
Yep, the knight.
Okay, no, he fends it off with his shield.
I thought he had 2 swords.
No, he has one sword that it can attack with twice. In a round.
Decisions. Do I use my last luck point?
It's like an MMO. Their name's red. Run away.
Why not? Well, what's the worst could happen? I'll use my last luck point.
Okay.
Again, boo.
No. Yeah. This one, you actually hit him, but nothing. It doesn't get through the armor.
Yep, nothing happens, and are both sides calling for to stand down?
Yep. So these knights all this knight here, he kind of disengages from you and stands back.
Yeah.
And,
after swinging, Dalrand will yell, "Stand down before this place burns to the ground." Conveniently after he swings.
After he swings, yeah. And he's got gauntlets on, and he actually just picks up the chair and runs out the door with it. And kind of throws it onto the bare earth outside and stamps on it for a while with his boots.
What else
until
is
it goes
burning?
out. The table was burning, but Darius seems to have kind of put that one out.
Is Dalrend strong enough to pick up one of the corpses and beat the smoldering wood and snuff it out with that?
Rubrum looks very confused by all this.
Yes.
He says, "I can put this out immediately. What are you doing?"
To humiliate the individual who dumped the beer on him, he's going to use it as basically to stamp the fire out with his corpse.
And you do that, and there's a kind of shocked silence in the room. And as you do that, you can see that two figures are walking across. This woman kind of shoulders you aside, Darius, and she's been followed by a couple of others. And Geraint walks past you, Rubrum, and says, "I thought spellcasters were supposed to be intelligent." As he goes past you, and there's a silent sort of black-clad presence behind you, Rubrum, not saying anything, but this guy's kind of followed Geraint, and they both of these two kind of close in on Dalrend, and he gets two kind of slightly different versions of a rant on the theme of like no honor, the body of an enemy, blah 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 blah, and both of them are bending his ear on different versions of the same theme at once.
Are we kind of out of combat now?
I think we are.
Rubrum would cast control flames and just douse them all, and like he looks at everybody like, "What's the problem?"
And a voice from behind you whispers, "Bravo. It's good to be able to stop what you started." And you see this guy here looking at you with some amusement, but also some admiration.
Turns around, he's like,
"It is only because everyone was panicked by the fire. I don't understand the problem."
This whole building is wooden. We would all die if it were to catch fire.
So?
And then he looks really confused. And then he just starts staring at you and like staring into your eyes. It's fascinating. Fascinating. And he kind of looks you up and down and says, "Oh, we must talk. We must talk, sorcerer." And he smiles, gives you a very thin-lipped smile that doesn't reach his eyes. And then he goes back to his chair over here in the corner. But you can still feel his eyes on you.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, as Dalrend... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, as you're... Yeah, how does Dalrend react to this?
So as Dalrend's getting two simultaneous ass chewings, he kind of takes a deep breath, kind of gets that adrenaline and rage out of him and drops the corpse at the feet of the woman and kind of frumps. He started it, I finished it. That's fair.
And Geraint says, "You will apologize to the," and he kind of looks at her, and she says, and she kind of gives him a sardonic smile suddenly. As she's gone from rage, it's kind of switch, click, like her expression changes to a sardonic smile to Geraint and says, "Sub-Commander." And he says, "You will apologize to the Sub-Commander, Minotaur, for your behavior. We have respect for the dead in this land."
Dalren kind of sniffs, goes over to the sub-commander, looks, and he goes, I'm I'm sorry that your men were so weak and put up such a pathetic fight against me, but that was no excuse for me to treat their body in that way.
And she looks you in the eye, and you can tell she's not at all intimidated by you, even after seeing everything you can do. And she looks at you for a long minute, and then she just laughs. And she says, "And here, men, is why we tell you to train longer and harder all the time. You might one day find yourself in battle against one such as this. And after you're dead, he will use your body to wipe a table. This is why we train." And she reaches up and gives Dalrend a pat on the cheek. And says, "Well, you fought well. We will gloss over the little matter of the body." And she nods at Geraint and says, "After all, he was just a foot soldier." And then she turns and starts going back to her table.
Rubrum, as this is happening, is leaning towards this guy that he assumes is a cleric of some sort and says,
Will you call you to your dark god and heal my flesh? It is quite uncomfortable.
And he looks at you and says, "Good." And instead he starts healing himself and his friend.
Dalren,
back to their table.
Dalren's like very confused at all of this and kind of not expecting that answer or the pat on the cheek. He kind of looks to Darius and Baldwin and not the knights he was fighting, but the other people in the room, and goes, "No one can outfight me. Who thinks they can outdrink me?"
And Geraint just kind of looks at you, Dalrend, and says, "To think that this is what we're calling our Salamnic auxiliary these days. I've lost my taste for drink." And he turns and just walks out of the inn. This knight comes back in and he kind of gives Dalrend a nod. He didn't see the thing with the body, so he's treating you as a kind of honourable opponent who has fought well. He gives you a nod. And Darius, you can make a perception check. No, you can make an insight check. Sorry, you can make an insight check. Okay. As she was walking past you, she definitely checked you up. And then she goes and sits back down.
There it is.
Hey. Love to see her go.
And then she was just like,
Pretty
he's no
bump.
Ayesh.
Both.
Oh no.
Baldwin will,
Let's go hunt the herbs for a booty bump.
I'll
Is she an
lay
elf?
on hands.
No, is she an elf or is she one of the humans? Or do I know?
So what were you saying, Ghost?
I'll do lay on hands on Rubrum for 10 points. All
"Thank
the,
you."
The
Okay.
healing that I have, and then
quite kind.
after I do so, I'll grab his shoulder kind of roughly and look at him and just. I would prefer if you left as soon as you could and be about your business elsewhere.
Business where? I have nowhere
Anywhere
to go.
but here. And he will make to take him out of the inn. To talk with him outside.
The innkeeper's kind of looking at Rubrum as well and says, "Sir, if I may be so bold, thank you for putting out those fires, but could I ask you not to do such a thing again?" And he looks scared, but he's got two fears.
Rubrum kind of gives a
battling.
shrug as
Fear
Baldwin
of
kind
burning
of
to
pushes
death
him out of the inn. He doesn't resist. He doesn't understand what the big deal is, it seems like.
As he's getting pushed out, Dalryn's like, "Why kick him out? He was a very good help."
And yeah, Baldwin will have Rubrum outside. You don't understand why that was a bad decision.
Did I not burn their flesh? It was a mortal combat.
You could have set the whole inn on fire. You could have killed everyone in the inn.
Why did they stay in their seats? They're fools.
We're blocking the only exit.
What building has one exit? That is foolish. Regardless, I could have put it out as easily as I started it.
You needlessly put all their lives at risk, Rubrum.
Needless.
And I allowed you into this place. It is on my head as much as yours if something were to happen to all these people.
They're fine. Nothing has gone rot. We live. They live.
It was a careless thing to do.
He doesn't grasp the totality of it. It doesn't seem like, just in his expression.
They are alive. What, most of them are our enemies.
We offered them peace here.
What peace will they give you when they go back on their words, and you're sleeping in your bed, and they're plotting of how to kill you? I will tell you this, Baldwin, I know much more of these evil knightly orders than you do. They hide behind fake honor, as all that serve her do and did.
That's an interesting comment as well, Baldwin. You kind of pick on it. All who serve her, they serve the god Sarganas, god of vengeance. Him. You can make a religion check. Or a history check if you prefer.
I would
Whichever's
prefer
better.
history.
Okay, history. Okay. Yeah, 14. There's something that's bugging you. He's referring to something, and you're like, I know what he's referring to, but you can't quite put your finger on it. There's something from he's referring to something from a long time ago, and you can't quite put your finger on it.
What do
But
you mean
it's
her? They serve Sarganas. What do you mean?
Yeah, hold on. Give me a second. He cranes his head to the side and he says,
All that serve her with evil in their heart. The Dragon Queen? Lady Chaos, the Dark Warrior, Shadow Sorcerer, she looms large even with her death. Don't you see? There will be no peace. There can be no peace for us. She has cursed me, and I am here.
Yeah, he seems to be talking about the Queen of Darkness, Takesis, who's was made mortal and slain hundreds of years ago.
Yeah, Baldwin, he just shakes his head. You speak nonsense. The Kesis is dead.
Puh,
Cursed you how? What do you mean?
I am here, am I not? How many times must I raise from the grave to see this world burn?
You speak madness. Nothing you say makes sense. Try to care about something. Try to be more mindful with your flames. I don't know what to tell you. You don't seem to listen to anything. Or leave. Whatever it is you do best.
I had great hopes for you. It is unfortunate. Now, do I expect I will have to pay for my own meals?
After tonight, yes, you do.
Well, that is unfortunate. If you are done lecturing me, young one, I will be about my business.
I am done. Yes.
He nods and he goes back to walk back over to the Minotaur. He's not leaving. He says,
Please do not put your hands on me again. Unless you want that hideous face of yours melted into place.
Then do not give me cause to.
he saunters over and he says to Darend,
You fight well.
You burn well.
Yes, our friend here seems to displease, he says he seems to not be pleased with me. Disagrees with my motives, my methods.
In fairness, we are in a wooden structure, and I am covered in fur. I understand his objection, but we're all here in one piece, are we not?
That's what I said. We will have to become best friends now. Tell me, shall you buy me a drink for my great valor?
I was just going to say the same thing to you.
Good, I'm glad you agreed to buy me a drink.
He kind of walks over to the bar.
Jephram is back behind the bar, and he comes over. He's looking pretty scared of Dalren after seeing what he can do, and he says, yeah, so he was just talking to Baldwin, and Baldwin's now leaving, and Jephram comes up to you and looking at the list says, and what can I do for you, sir?
I'll take a large tanker veil for myself, my new red-headed friend, Darius, And that night, and he points to the one that he was in the long-standing duel with, just him.
Right. And he said, of course, this one's on the house as a thank you.
Well,
You can tell he really means it as a please don't hurt me. But he puts this sort of small barrel, like a keg, on the bar, kind of hauls it up there, and says, "Actually, sir, I'll bring it to your table."
Thank
Kind of
you.
staggers over with it. I'm just watching the time actually, so unless anyone wants to do anything more, can we fast forward to the next morning?
Yeah, that's fine. I think Dalrend will, go over to this table because all the other ones are taken, sit down by the merchant that he helped free and the two ladies and go, wow, that was amazing. And then he just starts pounding booze.
Karen actually starts making up a song about how he killed 2 footmen, which is not entirely true, but yeah, how he killed 2 footmen by himself.
It's totally true.
In 2 blows.
It's in song now. It's got to be true.
Yeah, and how the knights couldn't stand before him, and how Dalrend and his companions saved the day. But you can see she's coming up with, saying it happened in an inn is just not good. Yeah, she's thinking it's got to be a fair maiden who was rescued, and she's making up more and more details as she goes. Right. So, did you say you wanted to do something? Who was saying something a second ago?
So only thing I would say is I would probably kind of make the rounds, making small talk, kind of seeing what information I would gather from the patrons.
Yeah. You can make an quick insight check. That'll cover a few things.
That's a negative.
Okay.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Covers
Okay.
nothing.
Yep.
I'm hot tonight, boys.
All the ladies love you and all the men are jealous. So just ignore them.
Ice Queen checked me out.
Yeah.
Because she wants to shiv me, but either way.
Yeah. Well, no. As you're walking past, she's definitely not coming over as an Ice Queen. She looks dangerous, but not cold in any way.
Only in the best way.
But she does look like a bad decision waiting to happen. So I will fast forward to the next morning, and the next morning you all awake. Rubrum, you found that several houses here are empty. They were going to charge you to stay in the inn, and it was relatively expensive compared to how little coin you have left. I don't think you got. But there are several houses standing empty. So you could just.
Yeah,
sleep
he
in
probably
that bed if you want.
occupies one. He doesn't have a problem. He
Yeah.
would drink until he just felt like leaving. He's forgotten. He's almost forgotten the interaction with Baldwin completely.
Yeah, and Baldwin's not around
Yeah.
at the moment, so yeah. Okay. Baldwin, the two dead footmen are brought in by knights who ask if they can leave the bodies there until the morning when they'll take them out and bury them.
They're brought in by the Narokans.
Yeah.
He will look to them, whoever brings them in. I can handle the burial unless you have certain rites you would like to say.
We do. We will dedicate them to our god, not to your goddess, but thank you.
I understand.
And it's actually Knights of the Skull that have brought them in, the kind of the dark clerics. And they're respectful. They're respectful of this place and they're respectful of you. That doesn't entirely surprise you because, though their god and your goddess stand in opposition, all the religions tell their followers to respect all of the gods and goddesses. So yeah, but they thank you. and one of them makes a donation of 5 gold pieces towards running the infirmary.
I'm going to convert.
Okay, and we're going to go to the next morning. The next morning dawns bright and clear. And you all sort of sleep in a little bit the next day, and it dawns on you suddenly that something's going on outside. Some of you are sleeping in, well, most of you are sleeping in rooms in the inn, apart from Rubrum, who's sleeping in a house, and you're all woken up by shouts in the street. And coming out, you see that some of the knights, some of the defenders of Norhold are kind of yelling at some of the Narakans, who are yelling something back. And there are lots of hands on weapons. No one's drawn any yet, but there are definitely tempers are running high, and there are accusations being thrown. You hear the word murderer. Does anyone say or do anything?
One definitely approaches.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Dalren, kind of waking up. Who knows if he even slept in his armor, passed out on a table. Who knows? But he kind of comes out of the inn and seeing the swords almost being drawn and remembering the oaths made about not killing people and kind of conveniently ignoring that when it suits him. He kind of yells out, "What is the meaning of this?"
And Artesh, the Dragonborn knight, turns to you and says, "They betrayed us, as is the way for their dark kind. Lord Alfric has been murdered." And we'll leave it there.
Dum dum dum.
Rubrum would be like, "I told you."
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
Was that oven
well
bake
done.
or microwave instructions?